Welcome to DIY channel. If you're someone who loves home decor, interior design, and all things DIY, then today's video is for you. I recently gave my master bedroom a complete makeover, from boring and bland to cozy, modern, and stylish, and I did it all on a reasonable budget using DIY hacks. Today, I'll be sharing the full process, all the steps, materials used, mistakes I made, and of course, the final reveal. Let's start at the very beginning. The first thing I did was assess the room. I walked through the space and noted what I didn't like. The wall color was dull and made the room feel smaller. The furniture was outdated and mismatched. There wasn't enough lighting, and overall the space just didn't feel inviting. My goal was to create a space that was peaceful, clutter-free, and stylish without spending a fortune. The next step was planning. Before buying anything or moving furniture around, I created a mood board. I gathered photos from Pinterest, Instagram, and interior design magazines to get a clear idea of what I wanted. I gravitated toward modern boho styles with neutral tones, natural wood textures, and cozy layers. I chose a color palette of soft whites, warm taupes, and a little greenery for freshness. Once I had a vision, I set a budget. I wanted to keep the entire makeover under $500. To do that, I decided to repurpose as much as possible, DIY my own decor, and look for second-hand items. I also knew I'd need to get creative and do a lot of things myself, which is half the fun. The first physical task was decluttering. I went through every drawer, closet, and surface in the room. I donated items I hadn't used in over a year, organized all my clothes, and threw away broken or useless things. Just this alone made a massive difference. When the room was finally clear of clutter, I gave it a deep clean, wiped the baseboards, cleaned the windows, vacuumed under the bed, and dusted every surface. Then came the painting. I decided to go with a soft, creamy off-white for the walls. The original beige tone made the room feel dated, and I wanted a lighter, airier feel. I used a high-quality matte paint that reflects natural light beautifully. It took 2 coats and a day and a half of work, but it made a massive difference. Instantly, the room felt brighter and more spacious. After the paint dried, I focused on the furniture. Buying all new furniture wasn't an option, so I worked with what I had. I sanded and painted my old nightstands with a warm white paint and added new black handles to give them a modern twist. For the bed frame, I added a DIY fabric headboard. I used plywood, foam, batting, and linen fabric. I stapled it all together and mounted it to the wall. It turned out better than expected and added a high-end look to the room. Next was the lighting. One of the problems in my bedroom before was the lack of proper lighting. There was only a single overhead bulb, which made everything feel harsh and cold. I swapped the ceiling fixture for a soft glow chandelier I found secondhand and added 2 matching table lamps on the nightstands. I also put up a set of battery-powered LED strip lights under the bed frame and behind the headboard. At night, the LED lighting creates a warm and cozy glow that makes the room feel like a boutique hotel. For window treatments, I removed the old blinds and installed sheer white curtains layered with blackout drapes. Not only do they add elegance and texture to the room, but they also help control the lighting during the day. I hung the curtain rods several inches above the window frame to give the illusion of taller ceilings. Then I tackled the floor. I couldn't replace the flooring itself, but I added a large area rug to bring in warmth and texture. I chose a soft, neutral-toned woven rug with a subtle pattern. Placing it under the bed anchored the space and made everything feel more cohesive. Bedding was a major part of the makeover. I picked up a crisp white duvet cover set with a waffle texture, layered it with a knit blanket at the foot of the bed, and added a few throw pillows in various sizes and textures. Keeping the bedding simple allowed me to play around with other decor elements without making the room feel busy. With the basics in place, I added personal touches. I hung framed prints above the bed, simple black and white art in minimalist frames. I installed a floating shelf above the dresser where I displayed a few plants, candles, and decorative items. Speaking of plants, I added 3 potted plants to the room, a snake plant, a pothose, and a small peace lily. Not only do they purify the air, but they also bring a calming energy to the space. I also installed a full-length mirror on the back of the closet door. This wasn't just functional, It reflected light around the room and made it feel more open. I kept surfaces clean and minimal, using trays and baskets to organize smaller items like jewelry, chargers, and skincare. Storage was another area I improved. I added underbed storage boxes for out-of-season clothes and spare bedding. In the closet, I used shelf dividers, hanging organizers, and baskets to make everything more accessible. I labeled things so that tidying up would always be quick and easy. One fun DIY I included was a personalized sign above the bed. I used a wooden board, painted it white, and hand-lettered a quote that's meaningful to me. It's a small detail, but it brings character to the room and always makes me smile when I see it. Finally, I added scent to the space. I placed a few essential oil diffusers with lavender and eucalyptus oils around the room and added a couple of scented candles. Now the room smells just as good as it looks. The entire transformation took me about 2 weeks to complete, working mostly in the evenings and weekends. Every time I walk into the room now, I feel calm, happy, and proud of what I accomplished. It's proof that you don't need a massive budget to create a space you love. All it takes is some planning, a little creativity, and a willingness to do it yourself. If you're thinking about giving your own bedroom a makeover, I highly encourage you to start. Even small changes can make a big difference. Start by decluttering, maybe add a new color to the walls, move your furniture around, or bring in a new lamp. You don't have to do it all at once. Take your time and enjoy the process. Thanks for sticking around and following this DIY journey. I hope it gave you some ideas and inspiration for your own space. If you like this content and want more home DIY projects, organization tips, and decor inspiration, don't forget to subscribe and give this content a like. I'd also love to hear your favorite part of the makeover or any ideas you have for future projects. Drop them in the comments below. Until next time, happy decorating!